What's up, y'all? Float up here another video today. Today we're covering rage tanking. We're almost done with the tanking series. So after this we have ice, and then we have an updated earth coming out soon. Just be on the lookout for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So for generator mods, we're gonna do health for our blues, yellow. We're gonna do dominance, and red, whatever you do for your DPS side, either might or precision. I do might. Affinity mods, you can do 2 health, 2 dominance, 1 of each health and a dominance. And then for your CND mods, you can pick whatever you feel comfortable. You got a group breakout one, you got an auto breakout, so whatever you're comfortable with. So going on to our white mods, the only ones that matter for the marketplace, the ultimate mods, are gonna be for your head, which is gonna be the ultimate supercharge mod. For your back, you want accelerated powers, and ultimate hardy for your chest. This is the baby tank, so I don't have the ultimate mods for my chest and my back, but if it's your main tank or your main tune, obviously get the ultimate mods. And then for your weapon, you want absorption adapter, fortified assault, and then legs doesn't matter. I got tumbling master in my feet. And for hands, you can do max damage or regenerative shield, and it's up to you. I have empowered channeling from a battle tank build. And to find your ultimate mods, you can go to the marketplace, or you can find them in the broker. So you type in Hardy and Ultimate Hardy mod, which is going to be 15% health, which is better than the 5% health. That's the free one. And then you can type in Accelerate and Accelerate Power mod. So the Accelerate Power mod is going to give you a 25% chance to reset your cooldowns for your shields and supercharge generators by using a shield or supercharge generator. So pretty good. You're going to use multiple shields in this build while tanking, so that's that. So moving on to our utility belt, two most important things here is our group breakout trinket and our chrono emitters. Group breakout is going to help you break out in case you get stunned, and then chrono emitter is to CC the ads, group them all together, then you stun them. I can show y'all. So you pop this once you gather up all the ads, and then stuns them for a little bit. That way, you know, you're not taking any hits, and your melee DPSs can get in there and hit them if they need to. So you got that. Rest utility belt, it's up to you. If you have the health trinket here, like this one, or the one from the Valentine seasonal that gives you 5% health, you can use that. If not, use supply drop, henchman, orbital. It's up to you, your personal choice. But that's it for utility belt. All right, so for our augments, we're gonna be rocking health and dom for our body augments. Head augments, you rocking health and dom as well. The reason I have a might is because it's a baby tune. I don't feel like leveling up 4 different augments. So health and dom for the top 2 head augments. And then for the chest augments, have the white and blue lantern equipped. The blue lantern ring, you can level up all the way. The supercharge is pretty good, but if not, level up to level 3. That's solid as well. White lantern ring, I'll say level up till you get life shield, which I believe is rank number 2. So yeah, get the light shield from this, and then you can level this up all the way if you want to. It's a pretty good chest augment for that one. So with rage, we need to understand our power, right? You need to understand the mechanics, you know, what we need to spec into. So let's go to our traits, go to rage, go down to level 10. Level 10 usually tells us what everything we need to know about, you know, your support role and how it works. So cool. Level 10, you gain 20% health, cool. 50% defense while not blocking, cool. You gain scar tissue. So let's read what scar tissue does. As your combo meter increases, you gain health equal to a percentage of your dominance up to a maximum 50% of your dominance. So those are going to be key indicators. So I see health and I see dominance. So we need to figure out which one is more important than the other. I'm gonna just say this off the rip. It's gonna be personal preference on how you want to spec as far as, like, you know, more health or more dom. I spec a certain way because, you know, I'm gonna explain here in a second why I spec it. So let's break it down. So let's go max health and do 100% in dom. Have nothing else spec. I only put a skill point into my weapon just to get the stats from that. So this is going to be a max dom. I mean a max health spec. So we got max health and only 100% in dominance. Don't worry about the rest of these right now. I'll just do that to get to the bottom of this real quick. So let's look at our base health. Well, not base health, our standing health. So we're looking at 1.92 mil at max health. So with scar tissue, we just got to build up our hit counter, which is the percentage of your dominance. and that should be good enough. So it maxes out at 2.09 mil health by doing it that way. So that's the max health build. And then let's do max dominance. I'm just going to get down here real quick, max that out. And I'm just going to throw 100 into health. The reason why we're throwing 100 into health, that's the biggest like stat jump, is throwing 100 into your stat points. So I did 100 for there, and usually we're gonna put 100 in the rest of it, but I'm just doing it to show off the health and dom aspect, the difference between max dominance and max health. And then let's make sure we put a skill point into our weapon to get the stats from there. All right, so let's look at our health with max dominance. So max dominance, we're looking at 1.67 mil health for our standing health. So let's get our scar tissue up. And that should be good right there. So we're looking at 1.87 mil health, which is not even close to the standing health of being a max health spec. So that's going to be the main difference. Number wise, you know, the max health build is better. But dominance does help you when it comes to, you know, your shield strength as a tank. So if you're popping shields, rotating shields, dominance does matter if you want to get more dominance. Now, the reason why I would prefer the health build is because there's more ways to get dominance outside of your base stat points, right? So if we look at, you know, the book art, Purified Pages of the Black, you get 30% health, 30% dominance from this art. So it doesn't say it on here, but I can show y'all real quick. So let's look at our dominance. Is going to be 294k. And if we get in combat, I'm just pop a shield real quick. And look at our dominance goes up, and you see it going up with the rest of our stats. So it goes up to 371k just by putting on Purified Pages of the Black at max stacks. So you get dominance from there. That's 30%. And then, you know, if you're running with a troll, a lot of trolls are rocking claw. So let's look at claw real quick. While in controller role, your weapon buff applies to you. 7 members grant 7% might, resto, and dominance. So that's another 7% right there. So you're looking at 37%. And on top of that 37%, you know, if you're rocking Lex Luthor and your health is spiking as a rage tank, that's another 15%. So 37 plus 15 is 52%. So you have, you know, there's different ways to get dominance outside of your stat points compared to health. And there's only so many ways to get, you know, health. You know, you can do Heart of Isis. That's if you want to do that kind of build. Where's Refractor at? You do Refractor, but Refractor, it only gives you roughly between 200 and 300k health with Refractor in. And you got, for ally wise, you got, you know, what, Batman Who Laughs, which is a chance, right? It's a chance to get 5% health. So you get it's way more opportunity to get way more stats from dominance outside your stat points, you know, to increase it. So I have this chart. I stole it from Mel. Shout out to Mel, a pretty cool YouTuber. He breaks down a lot of stuff in the game, stat wise, whether it's a new ally, new iconic, things like that. So shout out to him. Go show him some love. But anyways, on this chart, he has you know the skill points at different thresholds for each stat in the game that you can spec into. So at 100 skill points for dominance, we're looking at 208k, and then at max skill points, we're looking at 248k dominance. And the difference between those two numbers is about 18-19%. So, you know, I look at that and then, you know, compare that to book. Book gives you, you know, 30%. So, you know, it kind of makes up for that loss of dominance just by having book in. And then on top of that, you know, obviously with claw, another 7%, so on and so forth. And, you know, that's, you know, the whole 100% in dominance, the 100 skill points in dominance is only, you know, applying to people that has like 650 skill points or less, right? if you have more skill points, you're closing that gap already. As you gain skill points throughout the game, you're closing that 18%, you know, difference between 100 skill points and max skill points just by gaining more skill points in the game. So it's only for people that's, you know, 650 or lower when it comes to skill points. So it's not, you know, not the end of the world. Like I said, there's more ways to get, you know, stats outside of your skill points with dominance than it is for health. And but you know, you expect any way you want to. You know, I understand, like I said, I understand the difference, you know, how people can say, you know, dominance is more important, and, you know, especially they use more shields and stuff like that. And as a tank, you know, shields do help, you know, help eat up all that damage. So I can understand both sides between, you know, the health versus dom aspect as far as rage. So like I said, you can spec how you want to. You know, it's your game, spec how you want to. I'm just, you know, I'm giving you my opinion on why I think, you know, it's probably better to spec, you know, health versus dom, because you get, you know, like I said many times already, there's more ways to get dom outside of your stat points than it is for health. So that's just my opinion on that. You can spec how you want to. So, you know, we're gonna continue the video. So for rage, I'm gonna show you how I'm spec. Based on how many skill points you have, you can follow along and spec with me, is the best way to put it. So just spec with me till you run out of skill points. So let's get started. Go to traits. We're gonna go to our weapon first, and put whatever you want in your weapon aspect in the shield. You can grab your combos, weapon mastery, do whatever you want for that. I'm super speed. Go ahead and grab your speed boost if you're flight or acro, and then I grab dash attack, and then grab your resistance. And then these are optional. Here's your recoveries and your breakout mastery. But I say go ahead and grab these if you can. If not, it's cool. You just grab your resistance. Iconic powers, grab Hard Light Shield. And then if you do have magma or sunstone, grab that. And then whatever other icons you feel like you need, you can go ahead and grab that as well. So for stat points, we're going to spec super powered. So we're going to do super powered. We're going to do 10 just to get to the bottom. 10. And we're down to the next tier set. So we're going to do 100 into health first. So we got 100 into health. We're going to do 100 into dom next. And then we're going to do 100 into resto. And then for me personally, I'm gonna go into health fully. I already discussed, so you know, the dom health situation. So from here on, you know, you can veer off and do your own thing if you want to, but I'm gonna do health. And then from here, since I like to use razors and mystic symbols, so the 7, I usually go right here. But you know, if you're low on skill points, just go ahead and keep pushing into dominance. At least put like 200 or something into dominance. So let's say, I don't know, we'll put 350, but do 250, 350. And why did it do that? And I'll top these off right here. And then, you know, you can top this off right here. You can do that. You can do something like that. If not, you keep this 10-10 and put the rest in the dom. It's up to you. Me personally, since I'm rocking razors and mystic symbol to 7, I went with a little bit of might just to hit a little bit harder. So this is how I'm spec'd with 100 into might and power, and then I did crit chance and crit damage. Now this doesn't help me as a pure tank. This is just, you know, something to, you know, to do a little bit more damage with razors, and I sacrifice a little bit of dominance for this. So that's how I'm spec. But like I said, if you want to go the more tank route, the more tanky tank route, just go ahead and, you know, 10-10, 100, max out, and then put whatever you have left over into dominance. So that should make sense. Hopefully it does make sense. Go over it one more time. Super powered, 10-10, 100, max out health, and you put your leftover skill points into dominance if you want to just go the pure tanky tank route. But for me, in this case, it's just what I want to do. But since I got razors and mystic symbol to 7, that does, like, you know, some healing. So that's why I finished off my my crit chance and my crit magnitude, and that's why I got crit chance and crit damage for my attack and might and power, because it's a razor and mystic symbol to 7. So that's on spec. And, you know, you can, like I said, you can do what you want. It's your game. You know, I'm just giving you the foundation, and you can, you can build from that. So that's that for rage. All right, so this is my hallway build. I use it, you know, obviously for non-boss fights to get around the map, stuff like that, gather up all the ads. So let's go and get started. So Rage's power battery, really good art. It does damage, it heals you. It's gonna be every 25 seconds for me because I'm doing a consistent healing and damage. And the best part about this really is the all-self damage taken is reduced by 30%. So when it comes to rage crashing, you know, this is going to eat up a good chunk of damage if, you know, if I do happen to rage crash, right? So, you know, that's really, really good. We got refractor. This is going to give me and my teammates some health, you know, based off my dominance. We got last pit, and, you know, just save this for your, you know, in case something happens, you slip up, healer slip up, you know what I'm saying? Pick yourself up. We got mystic symbol of the 7. This is really good art, especially for hallways, you know, multiple enemies and stuff like that. Getting maximum of what, 20% defense. So all you need is what, 4 enemies by you, you get max defense, and then heal increases C by 10%. And then regenerate small health based on restoration. So pretty much every second you get 4 heals every second. So really, really good art for hallways. Then you got Red Tornado, and this is a wild card. I have this in because I didn't want to put book in for the hallways, so that way I'm not taking those ticks of damage. And it's not a bad art, so any damage I do, I get healed back for 15% of damage done. So solid art, and it makes my razors damage a little bit stronger too, because it does give me extra might with Red Tornado. So pretty solid art and setup for my hallways. So for my allies, we're rocking with Professor Zoom and Mr. Freeze. Professor Zoom is going to get me to move around faster. That's why I had this in. You can tell it's a lot faster than normal. So that's why I have zoom in, get around faster. And then Mr. Freeze, this is just to do extra damage. You pop a shield, and then he summons up to 3 snow devils, and they do, you know, decent amount of damage. So it's just to get, you know, get through content a little bit faster. Now, if you only can afford, you know, 2 allies or whatever the case may be, like I said, you can go back to your A1 Day 1's Lex Luthor and Superman. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, obviously you got, you know, other allies in the game. Queen Diana, hitting her with a pull reduces the damage output. Poison Ivy applies a debuff as well. And there's other allies in the game, but, you know, these are probably your best tank allies, Lex and Superman. But if you want to deviate and, you know, do your own thing and, you know, try out different builds, you're more than welcome to. This is just one of the builds I like to run with from my hallways. Like I said, this is to get around faster and this to do a little bit more damage. And I, you know, I kind of trust myself to, you know, stay alive. And I do have last pit too as well. So last pit is my safety net just in case something does happen. And for combat, you know, I don't pop allies in the hallways. I kind of save them from boss fights because John Con is so good. Because I don't want to pop an ally in the hallway, and then by the time I get to the boss fight, I can't pop John Con, which is one of the best allies in the game. So you can put whatever you want for your combat ally if you want to use it in the hallways. I know Mr. Freeze is pretty solid. This Superboy is pretty solid for hallways as far as like it gets defeating enemies. If you want to go the tank route, you got Static. It gives you a shield. Then you got Death Metal Batman, I believe, that provides a debuff. So that's pretty much it for allies. Let's go for a loadout. So we have Ragebringer, Severe Punishment, Without Mercy, Ire, Redirect the Rage, Dreadful Blast, Magma Vortex, Empowering Pulse, Starlight Shield, Remorseless Recovery, Life Shield, and Dash Attack. Now, Severe Punishment is going to be your main rage mechanic that, you know, everybody uses. Pretty much what it does, as the description says, you know, you become enraged, healing back a portion of damage taken for 8 seconds, after which you suffer from rage crash, causing all heal damage to instantly return. So pretty much you become like in a sense an immortal state when you have this activated, because, you know, healing back all the damage that you're taking. But you need to cancel this. You know, if you don't cancel the rage crash, then, you know, you take a good chunk of damage out of your health. Depending on what how your arts and your setup is, it might kill you. So like I said, with Razor on it, that eats up a portion of your damage. in case you rage crash. And then we have Dreadful Blast. This is going to cancel the rage crash. So if you read it, while performing this attack or combo, damage caused by rage crash is ignored. And then we have Remorseless Recovery. While this effect is ability are active, damage caused by rage crash is significantly reduced. So these are the two moves that we're going to be using to either reduce or cancel rage crash. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn my effects up. That way you guys can hear it. You can visually see it. So obviously it's going to be L2 triangle. This is move, severe punishment. So I'm gonna pop it real quick. You should be able to hear it. And if you look at it, you want to cancel it about right here at the elbow. So if you look at the guy's figure, you want to cancel it right there about the elbow. So if you're listening to it, you can hear the heartbeat kind of like, you know, pounding a little bit faster and faster and faster. So that's the audio version of it. The visual version is looking at your loadout and hitting your cancel right at the elbow point of the guy's figure. So I'm gonna pop it and then, you know, do your moves, continue to tank, do what you need to do, and hit that, cancel. I like to hit my was it ire? I like to hit my ire and then hit Dreadful Blast. So that's the way I like to do it. Now if you want to use Remorseless Recovery, swap these two out. Hit Severe Punishment. And then I pop ire and I clip. That's how I do it. Let me put it in order. So you hit ire, Remorseless, and I pop it into a shield. I like to keep it this way, but that's the order: ire, Remorseless, shield. And I'll show you one more time. And I hit it around where it's hit ire around where at the 6 o'clock mark. I'm gonna just say it's 6 o'clock. Hit ire around 6 o'clock. And then, you know, hit Remorseless into a shield. And you do the same thing too with Dreadful Blast. So you got that, and then if we put in Dreadful Blast back in, $6 like that, you good. You are good to go. So that's how you do it, and pretty much become unkillable. Become unkillable when you do it this way. I know with Remorseless you can pop Remorseless too at the same time as Severe, because it lasts the whole 12 seconds, and Severe it's only 8 seconds till it's rage crash. So you can pop these two at the same time too. So these are other options as well, and they're on the same cooldown too. So you can literally pop them back to back, and you'd be good to go too. So it's just different ways you can do it, like that. So yeah, that's that. Now the reason why I have Dreadful Blast at the top right here for the cancel, because this is a CC as well. So you know, you hit your move, whatnot. Let's just say I'm about to crash, right? And you just go ahead and hit it, shoots them up in the air, shoots all the ads up in the air. So that's why I have Dreadful Blast in. It's a good CC, and it's a hallway build too, right? So you want to CC the ads. You know, you got Chronos. You got this move, which is your Dreadful Blast, and you got Without Mercy, which is your pool. So you got different CCs in this build, man. You should not be dying in this build. So much going on, and plus the DPSs are really good in this game. Well, I say really good. It's a lot of water DPSs in this game, which are going to kill everything fast with razors and lasso and all that good stuff. So you should be good in this build. Like I said, all you need is a top loadout. You don't really need anything else. Like, there's a lot of ads. Just say, you know, it's pulling. There's a lot of ads going on. You don't hit this. It's on cooldown. You pull some more ads. Go ahead and pop that that magma. Gives you more defense too as well. Need some extra heals. Pop that. Need another shield. Pop that as well. And same thing with your life shield. And then you have dash attack too, in case you know. Do that. Need a shield. I'm trying to get up out of there. It's easy as that. So it's pretty easy, pretty simple loadout. You see my Snow Devil don't pop. Usually doesn't pop at Spartan targets, but it popped here. So yeah, get extra damage from your Snow Devil. You got Zoom moving around a little bit faster. So that's that for the hallway build. It's pretty simple. If you got any questions in the comments about the build or anything else, you can put it in the comment section. You know, I'll answer it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the hallway build. All right, so this is I'll say my boss build. Yeah, you can run this. You can really run this build the whole raid if you want to. You don't have to only use it for boss fight. You can run it the whole raid if you want to. So let's get into our arts that we have. We got razors. We got manacles. Manacles gonna eat up any big hits and also eats up some of the rage crash too. If it's big enough. We got last pit, mystics, same thing. And book, obviously the stat buff. You gain extra defense, dominance, resto. So everything that a tank needs, you get the extra stats from that. And ally wise, I'm doing Lex Luthor and Superman for my allies, and John Con for my combat. So I already went over the allies. So like I said, this is the boss build, you know, for bigger hits, harder content, stuff like that. You can run this build, and this loadout wise, it's pretty much the same loadout. Only thing I changed, took out Dreadful. I put Remorseless Recovery in. I got Magman still, Empowering Pulse, Life Shield. I got Beacon of Hope in this time. So you know, it's a boss fight. Usually the bosses are kind of stagnant for the most part, so you can pop Beacon of Hope and stand in that, get the extra heals from that. I got another shield, and then I got Sunstone Blast, which is another shield. So you can use this or the Blue Lantern shield. I'm slipping my mind what it's called right now. Surgeon Barrier. So you use Surgeon Barrier if you have that, or you can use Sunstone shield. So those are options right there. And it's the same concept too as well. Hitter, severe punishment, just like that. Cancel, and you just pull, do your normal things as a tank. You know, if your shield does break, you know, you still got two other shields, a life shield and hard light shield, so you really should not be crashing, you know. But keep popping this. You got heals coming in. And that clip between Ire, Remorseless, and your shield is pretty nice. So you should be good. You know, it's not much difference than the hallway build, but same concept. It's pretty easy to follow, and you get heals from Razor too on top of that. So it's a really nice build. Like I said, 3-way clip, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Like I said, you got the moves too as well, your supercharges. So same thing. Like I said, one over the allies, one over the arts, and my skill point should be spec the same. Let me double check. Super powered, maxed out, health. Yeah, so everything's still the same for this build. Only thing that changed was the arts, which was I put in manacles and I have book in. So yeah, everything else is still the same. Same concept of canceling your rage crash with Remorseless. Well, not canceling, but absorbing your rage crash with Remorseless. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Yeah. So I came up with a loadout that doesn't require any iconic powers, the new stuff. So the top remains the same. So the bottom would change was I put Eviscerating Chain in. Acts as a finisher, it cancels your rage crash, and it's a pull. So pretty solid move. Face dodge, acts as a shield. Another solid move. We got Channel Hate. It's kind of like fires absorb heat. It's a channel move and it heals you for a decent amount. If you pair this up with your power channeling mod, you won't get knocked out of it, and on top of that you gain extra defense too as well. So it's a pretty solid move. Violence, right here I was kind of reaching a little bit for this last move, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to find one more move that, you know, can make sense in this loadout, but you can do this. It's a CC move, and then, you know, it eats up some of your rage crash. If you didn't want, you could probably put like a supercharge generator in or something like that, you know, or another supercharge. You can probably, you know, rock Neo Venom or, you know, I don't know, word of power or something like that if you want to. But you know, you got Dreadful Blast. Like I said, it's a cancel and it's a CC move, so it's a solid move. And then you got Dash Attack, acts as a shield, and it's a 2500 supercharge, so it's something you can use quite often. And like I said, you can substitute this in with whatever move you want. Maybe a move an iconic tree I probably didn't grab or I'm not thinking of at the moment. So you can move that. Probably you can do an Amazon deflection. I don't really like that move, but if you want, you can use that. I know Neo gives you a defense boost if you use that. Using word of power, increase your health pool. Or you can use another 2500 for pheromone bloom. And yeah, that's about it, man. You know, do what you want with this loadout. You know, I try to create something without iconics, which is kind of hard in this game to do now, especially with, you know, 12 powers, because it's not really 12 moves that you can really use all at once just off your base, your main power set. But you know, make something work, come up with something, man. Like I said, I'm here for the foundation. You build off from that. You know, delete some move, add your own sauce to it, whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's gonna be it for that. So yeah. So I got MOE queued up, you know, I gotta test it, you know. So you gotta put your money in your mouth is right. So, you know, my rule is, you know, gather up all these ads in this first section right here. Obviously I'm queued in by myself, so no healer, no troll, no supports, no henchmen, you know, no buffs, not off no compound or no type of bulldozer or nothing like that. And can't pop any Chronos, so just see how long I survive with, you know, no help from nothing. I'm getting punched on pretty heavily. There's a lot of red numbers going on. They hitting pretty decently. You know, this is, you know, still elite, you know. And also too, I'm not allowed to use any colas unless I'm at absolutely 0 power. You know, and you know, obviously I need powers, you know, stay alive, stuff like that. But that's one time I need pop a cola, not because of health, because I actually, you know, need to hit my moves. But other than that, you know, the main purpose of this, you know, is because, you know, I taught for the past 30 plus minutes, and you know, sometimes you gotta put your money in your mouth is, you know, to show that, hey, you know, what I talked about does work in content. You know, there's a lot of, you know, stuff out there, you know, people put together that sounds good on paper, but necessarily doesn't translate into real life gameplay. So, you know, there's multiple builds out there that do actually work outside of mine. You know, this is just mine. It's what I do, what works for me. Like I said, find what works for you. Hopefully you take, you know, the stuff I said and, you know, that's the foundation and you build from that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, this video's coming to the end. You know, last ad's about to die here. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, ice videos coming out soon, plus an updated earth tank video. So appreciate y'all for watching. Catch y'all later. Peace.